Hey, if you're looking for a 15-minute everyday yoga workout, this is going to be perfect for you. We're going to work on your overall strength, your flexibility, some balance, some breathing, some stress relief, and by the end of this routine, you're going to be feeling a lot better and ready for the day ahead. For this routine, I've got 2 blocks in front of me. You don't need those, but if you have them, they can be helpful. We're going to get started on the ground in a tabletop position. So hands are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. I would recommend tucking your toes just to get a little bit of a toe stretch in. And from here, doing cat-cow. So inhaling to drop your chest and arch your back, getting your heart to look forward, lifting your tailbone up to arch your back, and then rounding your back, tucking your chin, pressing down through your hands to spread your shoulder blades, reaching your tailbone down, making your back as long as possible. And now adding in the breathing, inhaling to arch, lifting your chest up, reaching your tailbone up, and exhaling to round, tucking your chin, spreading your shoulder blades, reaching the tailbone down. 5 more of these at your own pace. You're basically just alternating arching and rounding your back. This is a really nice warm-up exercise for any workout, whether that's walking or lifting weights or just to help start your day. Really good for loosening up your spine with reducing stiffness, and even good for increasing flexibility in your back. A couple more of these at your own pace. Make sure that you're keeping your neck long as you're doing this. Don't just crane your head up, but keep that back of the neck long. And then as you're rounding, just be careful not to over-round. Most of us spend a lot of time rounding already, so it could be painful if you try to force that too hard. Last one here. All right, from here we're going to move into a side plank. I really like side planks. They're a fantastic warm-up. Also really good for your shoulders. So plant your right hand. We're going to do this with the hand down. Start with your feet spread at the either side, backs of the mat, and then lean toward the right, roll to your right side, and you can stagger your stance here with your feet spread like you see me doing. You want to put the weight kind of in your upper back, in the back of your armpit. Don't put the weight in your shoulder so that you're facing down. Roll back that left shoulder so that you feel this weight of your body in your upper back. If you want to make this more challenging, you can stack your feet. And to get your hips and your core involved a little bit more, drive your hips up toward the ceiling while holding this. You can keep your left hand on your left hip if you want. You can also extend this arm up. Breathe in and out of your nose. Keep it controlled. Especially as you start to challenge yourself, that's when you really want to check in with your breathing. Just holding here with control. Feeling that upper back working, driving the hips up. Being mindful to use your hand and not just dumping your weight into your wrist. So really pushing down where the fingers meet the palms. And then we'll switch sides. So plant your left hand, spread your feet, roll to your left side, open up to face toward the right. Weight is going to be in the upper back. So again, feeling this in the back of your armpit. Your right shoulder stacks on your left shoulder. If you can, the right arm extends up. You can also just keep that right hand on your hip. If this is too hard, you can bring your knees to the ground and stack your knees like so. You can also stagger the stance, or if you want to make it more challenging, you can stack your feet. Whatever variation you have, make sure that you can breathe controlled in and out of your nose. Even if it's hard, try to slow down the breathing. This is going to help you not only hold the exercise for a longer time, but it also helps you work on the mental wellness side of your fitness. So being able to maintain control over your breathing as you're stressed, that is a skill that you can take into every facet of your life, at work, at home, in your relationships. And it all starts with just practicing while you're doing it in your workouts. One more breath here. Hey guys, hope you're enjoying your workout. Here's a quick 15-second break to catch your breath. If you're looking for a program to help you be consistent, to get better results, I've got a free 7-day Beginner's Yoga for Men challenge. You can sign up for that at the link in the description below when this workout's finished. All right, Finish up strong. And then plant your hand. Go ahead and take it down onto your chest, all the way down. And from here, we're going to move into a cobra. So extend your legs back, point the toes as much as you can, squeeze your thighs so your knees lift off the ground, zipper your legs together, and then use your hands to pull your body forward and up, looking forward, squeezing the elbows back and in tight toward the sides. Keep your thighs working. It's normal here to have cramps. So if you feel your toes cramping, you can flip your feet for a second. That will get better with time. If you're consistent with these workouts, do at least 3 per week. Those cramps should go away in a few weeks. It's a sign of feet weakness. You probably just don't use your feet that much. A couple more breaths here, working on this really great back bend, really good for your spine, for your core. Elbows hugging back, head pressing forward, lifting up a little bit higher, using your core, your thighs, and your hips so that you're not feeling this all in the back. And then releasing down. All right. From here, we're going to come up and into a runner's lunge. This is a really good basic lunge. It's very good for your hips, your core, your spine. You're going to have your right leg forward, blocks on either side of your right foot. If you don't have blocks, you can just place your hand on your thigh. You're going to tuck the back toes, lift your knee up. And to make this easier, you can bring your legs closer together, like so. You want to make sure that your back is flat. So don't lean back. Also don't round forward. Find a flat back, core engaged, nice straight spine. If you want to make that more challenging, bring your feet further apart. You can also use the blocks. That helps it so that you don't have to put all the weight in your legs, and you can use your hands a little bit. Try to breathe in and out of your nose. Remember, that's a really important concept here. That allows us to go beyond physical and also just get the mental benefits of stress relief and controlling stress. With your body, make sure that your heel is pressing down. It's not going to touch the ground, but pushing down is going to help with that ankle mobility. Squeezing your back thigh, so squeezing your left thigh here to help with opening up the hip flexors. And then pressing down through your right heel to help strengthen through your right glute. Chest pulling forward and up, keeping that neutral spine. And then from here, moving into an airplane. So if you have the blocks, these are going to be really helpful. Place them about a foot in front of your right foot. Press down through your right foot to straighten through your right leg until you feel your hamstring stretching. Reach your left leg up, point the toes, pull your chest forward into airplane. If you have 2 blocks and they're stable, you can actually stack your blocks. This is a good way to modify if you have limited flexibility. And if you don't have the blocks, then you can keep your hands close to the ground, just doing the best you can. It also helps to find a wall, and you can use the wall for a little bit of support as well, or a couch, anything that you have nearby. It's better to have proper technique with support than it is to have improper technique without support. So use the props. They're going to help you get more flexible and increase strength more quickly. Give this about 10 more seconds. This is meant to be a practice. So if you fall out of this pose 10 times while you're doing it, that's okay. Your body will adapt. You'll get stronger. Pretty soon you'll be able to do this. All right, and then go ahead and stand up. All right, we've got one more side. So we can do that other side. If you have the blocks, place them on either side of your left foot. If you don't need them. It's okay. Big step back with your right foot. And remember, you can modify this pose. If you're less flexible, bring your legs closer together. Don't go down as low into your hips. This is runner's lunge, what I'm doing right now, as is this, right? So it's not about mirroring me. You don't want to just look at what I'm doing and do what I'm doing. You want to do the pose as it applies to you. And hopefully the cues that I'm giving you are helpful enough so that you can do that. Press your left hip toward the ground, pressing down through your whole left foot so you feel your left glute, your left thigh working. Press your right heel toward the ground so you feel that right ankle stretching, your calf opening up. Squeeze your right thigh and your right glute to help open up through your right hip flexors. And keep the front of your body nice and long, your spine straight, so you're strengthening your core as you work on hip strength and hip mobility. And as this starts to get challenging, breathe in and out of the nose. Probably sounds annoying in the microphone that I'm doing and in your speakers, but it's a good reminder for you to check in with the breathing. All right, and then from here, transitioning to airplane. So move the blocks out in front of you, lean forward, push down through your left foot, float that right leg up in the air, press your right toes back, pull your chest forward, and you only need to straighten your legs as much to get the hamstring stretch. So you don't need to lock out the legs, especially if that causes you to round your back and do something like this with your body. So only straighten the legs as much as you can while maintaining a flat or a neutral spine. So for most people, you're probably going to have your leg bent. Keep in mind, if you have the blocks, you can use those to help lift the ground up and make this pose work better for your flexibility levels. You can also hold onto a couch, a coffee table, a piece of exercise equipment, whatever you have nearby to help stabilize. As you're here, you're going to feel your left outer hip working, your thighs are working, hamstring is stretching. You also want to stay active through the back leg. So I'm actively pointing the toes back and squeezing my thigh. So my quadriceps are working, the hamstrings are working, and my core is working to hold everything together. You're going to look straight down at the ground, chin kind of tucked in toward your throat. Focus on a specific point on the ground. That's going to help with your balance. Last little bit here. And then go ahead and stand up. Here we're going to take this into a wide-legged forward fold. So if you have tight hips, bring your blocks with you. If you don't have blocks, again, that's totally fine. You could also use a foam roller, by the way. That'll also help. So turn your toes slightly in, come into a wide stance. If you are tighter through your hips, you can bring your legs closer together. If you are more flexible, then bring your feet further apart. Keep your knees slightly bent here. Think about hinging at the hips, so you want to keep your back flat as you do this. Lengthen your hamstrings as you bring your chest forward and down. If you have the blocks, it's a really good idea to rest your hands on those blocks. If you don't, you can also rest your hands kind of on your thighs like this. And then I want you to squeeze your thighs, and your knees can stay bent if you want to. I usually bend my knees when I do these, and I'm pretty flexible, so let that be a little indication of whether or not you should use modifications. Very good idea. Push into the outer edges of your feet as you're squeezing your thighs. And think about lengthening from the backs of your knees to your lower back. So if you can lengthen that area, that's stretching the target areas. We want to feel stretching through the inner thighs as well as your hamstrings. As you push into the outer edges of your feet, you're also going to feel stretching through the outsides of your shins. That's a really good thing. Most people don't work on ankle mobility that much, but it's really good for your knees, your back, and definitely for your feet. Try to keep your chest pulling forward here. A lot of people will just kind of collapse their chest and look back. And if you're not staying controlled through your core as you're doing that, that can lead to things like herniated discs. So keep your core really tight, nice and engaged. And if you have that engagement, you can fold a little bit more. But for most people, I just recommend keeping your chest pulling forward and focusing on staying active. It's a lot of stuff to take in if you're new to this. But the better technique that you have, the more that you're using the right muscles, the better your results are going to be with these workouts, and that's what I really want for you. So that's why I talk through this technique a lot. And then, of course, don't forget to breathe. All right, go ahead and bend the knees a little bit. Look forward, slowly come back up. Now we're going to move into our last pose, which is a yogi squat or a deep squat. So for this, you're going to have your feet turned slightly out. You want to keep a nice long line from your waist to your chest. Don't cave your chest in as you're doing this. Sit down into a squat. Allow your knees to press forward and out. Bring your elbows inside your knees. This is actually a really good way to help open up through your inner thighs more, your groin. And then push your knees into your elbows as you press your elbows into your knees. And this will allow you to squat down deeper into the squat. If you have knee pain, if that's not possible for you, you can modify this by taking your feet a little bit wider and turning your toes out. This pose is called a horse stance or a goddess pose. This is a lot easier on the knees, but you're still going to get a lot of inner thigh groin mobility work. So you can also do this variation. And then if you can do the deep squat, you're welcome to do that. Either variation, make sure that you're not rounding your back here. So a lot of people will kind of let the knees not come forward and round their back like this. I want you to allow the knees to come forward. Your knees can pass your toes. It's fine. Your knees aren't going to blow up if you do that. It just means the knee behind the toes thing, that is meant to save your knees, but it comes at the expense of your back. So your knees are supposed to pass your toes. If you can't do that, it means you need to work on your ankles and on your hips. And doing this stuff regularly is going to help with that. So we want to keep that chest up. Use the elbows pressing into the knees to open up through your groin. Weight is in your hips, so your glutes are working here, squeezing your butt muscles, keeping that height through your torso. And then go ahead and squeeze your butt and stand up. Great job on that workout, guys. If you're looking for more workouts, be sure to subscribe. We've got a ton of workouts for free on this YouTube channel. Similar to this, some that are harder, some that are easier. Poke around in the video library. You can find out the ones for you. Like this video if you found it helpful. Leave a comment if you have some feedback, a question, or a recommended YouTube video topic. I probably got it if you're asking for it, but leave it anyways. I'll see what I can do. And subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. If you're looking to get started with another workout right now, I have a video that just hit over a million views. It's called the Morning Yoga for Confidence and Energy. Click right here to check that out now. I think you'll really like it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next workout.